Say nothing.
I have yet so far. Hannah's spilling stuff in the middle of the podcast.
She's so angry.
You wouldn't know if your boob is out?
No. Because
I
normally,
assume
like,
that was like the most obvious one.
no, like if
ever.
you're in a bikini top
Yeah.
and you have like a nip slip, like you don't know.
And does the little, hey, how you doing? And puts the leg up.
Yeah.
And, then
And he's got the towel.
Junk.
And there's, I literally think your junk's hanging out of the towel. I would never say anything.
I've never seen that.
BMS the podcast.
All right, let's jump into BMS the podcast. We always do a weekly podcast of things we didn't get to on the air, or maybe some of the stuff is just too offensive. A lot to get to, including Kevin's big milestone in life changes. We'll kind of deeper dive into doctors drinking and AB's boobs. No, I really want to start there. If AB's boob is out, I am not going to say anything. That's where I'm going to start the podcast. I just want to stress this. And then actually, if any woman's boob is out, and it's not just because I like
I'm not
women's
going to
boobs.
say anything.
But I think
Conveniently.
Right.
No, and it's not just because I like AB's boobs or
Right.
boobs in general. I honestly think
I may stare hypnotically,
Yeah.
but I'm not going to say anything.
I'm not going to say anything.
No.
And everyone thinks this is a crazy way to start the podcast. But I think when you comment on someone else's attire, you are running a risky game. What if AB wants her boob out? I don't know. I don't know anything about fashion. If someone's clothes are muffled or disfigured in any way, I don't think you should say something. I feel like every single time you say something, even if it is obvious that you think like her boob probably doesn't want it out, I'm not making the comment. I think you handle your clothes, because every single time you make a comment, like, oh, your chain's on the wrong way, people are like, I want it that way.
Yeah.
I think
And it's fucking awkward.
Yeah.
I think we probably have very different opinions on this because I'm a
No.
woman and you're a man. Like,
No,
as
girls
a
should
woman-
not do it either.
Yes, I would want a
No.
girl's girl to do it to me.
AB, tell them how it happened to your family, and it
Brett's-
was awkward.
Brett's being very dramatic about what happened, but I was at dinner with my mom and a couple other people, and we're sitting outside, and she's wearing, I know you guys all saw the picture that I posted from my movie premiere, the like brown polka dot dress. It's high neck, and she was wearing that dress, and it buttons like in the back of her neck, and she just never buttoned that part of it because it kind of chokes you, and who cares? Her hair was down. She was like, no one's going to see it, but it was very hot out, and so she kind of had her hair like more up, so you could see it was unbuttoned. Nothing was hanging out. It was very high neck, whatever. But this waitress came over and like squatted down and basically whispered something in her ear, and the whole table was just like, what? Like, I think she was trying to be nonchalant about
She was
it,
trying to look
she was
out
trying to
for
be
her.
but
yeah.
it made the whole table just go silent and be like, what's going on?
It's
and then
always awkward.
yeah.
when she walked away, we were like, what did she just, like, it looked like my mom was getting kicked out of the restaurant. That was like the vibes that were going on. And we were like, what did she just say? And she was like, oh, she was just telling me that the back of my dress was unbuttoned, but I already knew that.
I don't know. There's no way to do it. Like, that is probably the best. Like, if you say it in front of everyone, you run the risk of embarrassing them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
So
not
you say
good.
it's super awkward. But then if you whisper down,
Mm-hmm.
it looks even more awkward.
Yeah.
I feel like almost every time I am being over the top dramatic, but I also think like if you were to like sit, like sometimes like women have like loose tops or stuff like that, and say you're like bending down and like a boob does pop out. What are you supposed to do? Your boob is out. Like there's no,
I can see.
There's never a way to say it. You just let it ride out, and if trust me, if you want some, you start to figure it out. Like if your button's undone and you don't like it, you'll eventually go, oh shit, my button's undone, and you'll put it. I don't think you should ever comment. Like even like the whole classic, like your fly is down.
Yeah.
Most of the time, I'm like, they'll figure it out. Like I don't need to be the like one who's like drawing attention to the person's wiener. Like
No.
they'll
I
figure
think
it out.
that's true of men.
Do you think it's different?
With girls, you should always say something.
Yeah, it's way different.
no,
Even if you're not close to them, it is like a girl thing.
But it was so awkward with your mom.
Yeah.
Was the waiter? Was it a waitress? Was the girl?
It was a girl,
See,
but I think it would be
I can't
different.
discredit that at all, though, because she was trying to help.
she was. I know. Bet is making my point more strong. Is there are no way to do it now? Like if you're super tight, maybe. But then, like, you're still in the back of your head, like, how long was it like that? Was it awkward? If you eventually figure out your clothing needs to be readjusted, in the back of your head, you're kind of like, maybe nobody noticed. Maybe, like, I got away with it. You kind of, like, play that little trick on yourself. You're
Right.
like, oh, thank goodness
I would
nobody
think,
said
why
anything
hasn't
about it.
where's my girls at? Why haven't they told me?
Even if I had like a stain on my shirt, sometimes I'm like, oh man, I get away and nobody said anything about it. That's
Yeah, but I
awesome.
think
And maybe people did notice. I'd rather live in my naive bliss.
I think a stain is different though than an open or an unbuttoned something. You know,
I don't know.
I think the fear is with the opened or unbuttoned something is going to eventually fall out.
Also,
and they want to warn you.
You run the risk of them not like AB's mom probably didn't fix it. So then
She
it's even more awkward.
she didn't fix it because she knew it was unbuttoned. That is true. But
Yeah.
once the waitress said that, she didn't fix it because she didn't want the waitress
to win.
Like, I don't know how to put
like
it.
Win or lose, because then if you like look like the waitress, like I told
she
her
said,
that,
"Oh,
didn't
you know,
even
your
care.
dress is unbuttoned," and my mom goes, "Oh, I know, like it's totally fine." And so she almost did it out of principle. I knew it was unbuttoned. Now I can't button it because she told me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's awkward too, because now the waitress is like, "Oh, well, did she?" Now she's just trying to do it to prove me wrong.
Right.
Or if you do it, then you feel like you caved because now you're like, if like AB's mom wanted it.
Yeah,
on,
she
but-
didn't want to cave.
And then you cave, and you're like, now I'm uncomfortable,
always
but I don't
cave.
want to make it awkward for the.
Right.
There's no
No
way
way.
to win an outfit adjustment.
I think I've had both guys and girls tell me like, "Oh, your fly's down," and it is
Awkward.
When a guy tells me, I'm like,
It is awkward for like 2 seconds, but then like you zip up, readjust, and then you're fine.
But is it that bad to have your fly down? Like
yeah,
Yeah,
I don't
no.
want my fly down.
I don't want my fly down.
eventually you're gonna figure it out, like, and you'll just move on.
I don't
with
know
your
that I
life.
Well, then you
would.
figure it out and you go, why didn't somebody tell me earlier?
Yeah.
I don't
One of
ever
those
think that.
Look
I always
around.
think nobody was looking at my crotch. Thank God. I'm telling you, we know that our button's undone. We know our shoes undone. We know our boob is out. We know it. And we'll either get to it if we want to get to it or we won't. And that's why I always let people do.
I don't think I
let
know
them
when
do
my
their
boob's
thing.
out.
No,
It's usually when you're eating
I
Chick-fil-A.
don't-
You wouldn't know if your boob is out?
No,
no.
because
I would
normally
assume
like
that was like the most obvious one.
No,
we've
like if
ever-
you're in a bikini top
Yeah.
and you have like a nip slip, like you don't know.
I would say
I don't think I've ever
99% of
actually
the
seen a
time.
nip slip in
Like,
a bikini before.
if I'm
I was
wearing-
being dramatic with this one.
If I'm wearing like a low cut top, I'll tell like my girlfriends, "Hey, if you see my boob, tell me."
So like,
Yeah.
I have never seen your boob. So I just never feel like that ever happens.
All the time, I feel like.
Really?
Especially in a bikini top.
I'm telling you what,
Yeah.
if that's happening, I'm not saying shit.
yeah, I mean-
let y'all know.
to that point, I've seen you. We've experienced that in the gym or whatever. The old man who sits there and does the little, hey, how you doing, and puts the leg up.
Yeah.
and then they're,
And he's got the
there's your
towel.
junk.
And there's, I literally think your
so-
junk's hanging out of the towel. I would never say
I've
anything.
never seen that.
Because you've
Are
never.
you in the men's locker room?
Well,
a
I
lot?
thought you meant just in gym shorts, like
No,
out in the
No, in the
open.
locker room. Like they'll like have a towel on and then like their junk will be hanging
That's
out.
different because
They always
honestly,
think
I
they're-
think they want their
That's
junk out.
purposeful.
Well, no,
You
it's
never
not.
know what people want. That's why I'm saying you stay in your lane. You let people decide if they want their junk out, if they want their nipple out, if they want their buttons. I feel like
You say nothing.
I have yet so far. Hannah's spilling stuff in the middle of the podcast.
She's so angry.
Do you have a napkin over there, Kevin?
There's yet Hannah is yet. No one has yet to prove me that there's a non-awkward way to address it. You guys have also do it, but then we can't even think of AB's mom's way.
A wet wipe.
Yeah,
Okay.
I brought these in to clean the board.
Oh, Kevin had one.
Nobody clean. Hey, Mike, our maintenance guy, does an awesome job cleaning the studio, but nobody ever, gets
Cleans
in
the
and
board,
cleans
yeah, the
and all
bird-
that
These
boards
stuff.
are
get
like
dirty.
baby poop wipes. They
Yeah,
have
so-
little bears on them.
That's funny.
Perfect. Thank you.
All right, let's transition. We did talk about this on the show, but I feel like we get an opportunity to kind of deep dive a little bit more of kind of what you're going through. Kevin, your daughter moved out, and this is the first
I
time
know.
your daughter moved out. So how you feeling about
There's a lot of mixed emotions. I mean, the one I think who's going to suffer the most is Lily, our dog.
that? Really?
And then second is going to be Jackson, who's got to take care of Lily, because Kennedy's really been more of Lily's walker and the person that Lily wakes up in early in the morning to take out and things like that. So that's the one. Sarah's having a harder time than I thought she would.
Oh, is she?
Yeah, primarily because Kennedy and her are buddies. The good news is Kennedy's going to always be back, and it's going to come. And actually, I think it's going to actually strengthen all the relationships because they're going to talk more. And also the fact that she works, literally 5 minutes away at the loading dock when she works her, shifts on the weekend, she can stay over and things like that.
So if you did miss it on the show, Kennedy goes to SIU Edwardsville.
Yes.
And so how far is Edwardsville from you guys?
It's about a 45-minute drive.
So she's going to get an apartment near there. So
Yes.
it'll be about a 45-minute, long distance, I guess, if you will.
And she's a junior, and she's with 3 of her other friends, and I think it's a great opportunity. It's similar to like going away to college or being, on campus or something like that. And this is the precursor to she will eventually move out and find her own apartment and her own home. I mean, it's inevitable.
I find it interesting that you talked about everybody else's feelings, but what about your feelings? I think you're high on that list of being affected too.
Yeah, I think I am. I think it's one of those things
That's
where
your girl.
Yeah, I know, and it's not just my girls. It's my deaf girl, and there's a little bit more of a weird apprehension of going, oh my gosh, is she really ready? Now they put in a special fire alarm at the apartment, and actually
wow.
Kennedy's best friend Shayna is also deaf, so they have this. They've made some accommodations for him.
That's awesome. I mean, that's things that we wouldn't even think about.
Yes. So there is a little bit of worry about that she's more independent, but at the same time, there's a part of me that's very, very proud of her and very, very, I'm glad for her that she's doing this, that she's going to get a chance to be on her own, because independence is a great thing.
I feel like it sounded the way you described Sarah is trying to soak in that relationship because they're so close, where I feel like the thing that you might be struggling with in the hitting that realization is like, she's not my little girl anymore.
Right. Well, and that's
I can't believe she's gone.
Exactly.
And we're at this point. Kevin, I think more than anyone else, really, when I talk about my kids, he reflects back on his kids when they were young. And I think it's almost like you like hearing the stories, but almost hard to hear stories. Like, oh my God, I miss when they were so excited about toys, and I miss when they're so excited about Christmas or
Halloween or any of those things that kids love, like even like the first days of school and things like that, to dress them up and the pictures and all those little outings and stuff. And it's just like, this is the next chapter. Your parents went through it, my parents went through it too, and it's just one of those things where it's like,
I can't picture my kids being that old yet.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you'll ever can, and it doesn't seem like you have been able to.
No, I haven't.
Like, I could never picture my son or my daughter moving out of the house.
All
or
these milestones, I always feel like everybody is too young for. Like, I always say, like, my friends that are married, my friends that have kids, I'm always like, but we're still kids. Like, I don't know that there's ever a milestone that you're like, yes, now is the time. I feel old enough. Let's do this.
Right.
I think you'll always kind of like feel like a kid and no one's ready to do anything.
Yeah.
You just have to do it, which is what's crazy.
Yeah.
But hearing and one of the reasons I wanted to bring it up and to, like, deep dive a little bit more on the feelings and thoughts is because a lot of it is your story, but hearing that Kennedy was moving on for college did bring me a rush of emotions about my kids. Like, one day they get to that old. It's going to
happen, right?
And I was like, no way. Like, not my kids, not me. They will always be next to me. And realizing that, like, my son's 5 and it happens in like a blink of an eye. Like, I feel like the way you describe Kennedy is like a 5-year-old, not in a bad way, but more so like in a way of like they still have this like what AB was talking about, this youth to them, and it happens in a blink of an eye.
And I look at my own experiences, and I was more of a homebody. My older brother, my younger brother, and even to some degree my sister, we all didn't go to college away. We all went to.
How long did you live at home for?
Well, I even came back. I missed it so much.
So, what was your final time moving out?
So I moved out when I was 22.
22.
Okay.
That's pretty young.
And then I moved back when I was 23 because my roommate, my brother, got married, and
that's right.
then I stayed at the house until he got divorced, and then now I had another roommate with my brother. So I didn't really move out until I married Sarah, which was like 29.
29.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I'm, so for me, that's why I said I'm very proud of Kennedy to move out.
How does she feel?
I think she's excited. I think she's a little nervous. I can tell, but she's extremely independent. One of the best things about her, nonconformity, about being deaf, is that she has always been an advocate for herself, and because of that has really kind of made her, I guess, push forward and move forward and strive to do things on her own. And she's amazing. And plus, she's going to have 3 great roommates who are just awesome.
Do you think it's over?
It's going to be a lot of fun.
Do you think she'll move back? Yeah,
that's what I'm curious about.
My wife, when she moved out for college, she never moved back. That was it. I think she went back one summer.
Which is rare nowadays, I think.
I know most
with,
people after
with
college.
money
Right.
and all this
Afford
stuff.
anything.
Yeah, people will go to college. I went to college for 4 years in
You lived with your parents?
Kansas. Yeah, so 4 hours away. And then when I moved back home after college, I lived with my parents for a couple years.
Was that weird?
Not for me because my parents are so relaxed, but I do remember like my freshman year of college. For my parents back in the day, you would go to college and you'd be on your own indefinitely.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of how my dad saw it at first, and he would make jokes like, you can never move back home now.
Oh,
You're on
really?
your
Yeah,
own.
right.
You're on your own. And then it's just become this joke that all of his daughters now will have moved back home after
Because your
college.
sister's
but that's
living
just,
at home now.
you have to save money to be able to live
Right,
on your own
exactly,
after that.
My
exactly.
wife, she moved out, went to Notre Dame, and then one semester she came back for summer. The other semester she stayed at college, got a job there, was working, continued on her degree and stuff like that. Then went to grad school in St. Louis at WashU. And then from St. Louis, she got her first job offer and went to Memphis and just went boom, boom, boom. And honestly, some of that has been hard because I moved out straight out after college. I stayed at home. Went to a community school, so I stayed through college. But then I was 21, 22 years old, and I got my first job in radio. It's $10 an hour, and never went back. And both of us, because of our independence, it's been harder to catch up financially.
Yeah.
We felt
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
a little bit more like, okay, we're out there trying to do it. Where like my brother was able to save and buy a house because of the savings and stuff like that. So, but Kennedy seems like so independent. I was curious if we think she'll move back.
I don't know if she will. The door is always open for her too, though.
You're
it's
like,
not like
God.
yeah, I mean, it's funny because once she moves out, Sarah's like, okay, now we've got to switch up her room.
I was
And,
gonna
you know,
ask, are you
that's the
guys gonna
thing.
make it like
yeah,
The
are you guys
Office?
actually...
No, it'll be basically Kennedy's room, but less of Kennedy's stuff. It'll be more like a
Okay.
guest bedroom for Kennedy when she comes
Wow.
out.
Yeah.
Got the way Kennedy's here.
That's really it,
Dude,
So-
so and the other thing is my brother lived at home for a while until he was like 26, I feel like, and then he bought his first house, and it was like down the street from my parents' house. It was like a townhouse, and it was so funny. But when he would come back in, it was like the prodigal son, man. He was like, he's home. And I'm like,
Yes.
the dude lives 5 minutes
Right
away.
away.
Right.
That's kind of how like my mom will treat me when I come home. She'll just
Really?
be like, "You're home," and I'll be like, "I was here yesterday."
I know,
Like,
it's crazy.
Is your
Kevin-
bedroom
Yep.
still the same? at
my
your
bedroom's
house?
still exactly
My
the same.
bedroom at my mom's house is still the exact same, and I almost want her to change it. I'm like, girl, I ain't coming
No,
back.
I want my bedroom there forever. Yeah.
Kevin, are you going to be the one when she walks in the door, like to roll out the red carpet, or do you think it'll be Sarah?
I think it'll be Sarah, definitely.
Fine,
And
I
will
would
do
have
the
put
same.
my money
I
on
know.
you.
Me too.
I'm
I
surprised.
think Kevin's putting on a little front.
Did you guys have like a goodbye moment where you all like hugged and you were like, "Okay, good luck"?
Well, my goodbye moment was building 2 little nightstands.
Good for you.
So you're like, "Here they are, I'm leaving."
Well, here's it, and because I don't do moves. You guys know I'm not a fan of them, and Sarah put her into the apartment. So
Yeah.
that's kind of it. So and then we met for lunch, and that's it. There is that weird. It's like all the commercials. I'll tell you what, the one thing, and I don't want to hear it again, is Kenny Chesney's "There Goes My Life."
Yeah.
Because that is like,
Oh.
and headed off to the West Coast. All right, I'm done now.
Oh, he's like getting
But
choked
yeah,
up.
that's
I
like,
do know that song, and that
Yeah,
song, literally
yeah.
every word of it's probably true. It was
right.
like when you first have a baby, like I feel like your whole world changes. Like my dad always says there's life before kids and life after kids, and I 100% agree with that. Like I constantly have to remind myself that I used to like travel. Like when AB's booking a trip, she's like, "Oh, I'm going to New York again." I'm like, "Oh, that's cool." I'm like, I used to go all over the place. I'm like, "Go
Yeah.
places, AB,
Right,
go
yeah, right.
see the world." But I have to like constantly remember that I used to do things and experience life differently, and everything changes. And you're like, "Oh man, I can't go to concerts like I used to. I can't do these things like I used to." And then you don't even miss it anymore. And then you realize like when they leave and you have that freedom back, you're like, "No, I don't want any of
this
that freedom
Where
back.
are
Like,
they? I want
all of
Yeah,
that.
Yeah.
I want to embrace every single second."
We were
of them.
watching Lanterns together just the other
Yeah.
time. Hey, I need you back here. So
100%.
I remember my goodbye for college like it was yesterday because I'm the oldest kid, so it's like my whole family was going to be together without me. Everyone was crying except for my mom. She hugged me like really quickly in the parking lot and ran away because she was like trying to like keep it together. And then my other sister, when they got back in the car to drive the 4 hours back home, she had made like a goodbye video for me. And my mom texted me being like, don't watch it right now. Like, you need to wait at least a week. You're going to freak out. And so I didn't watch it for like 1 or 2 weeks.
Did you really? You had the patience to do that?
Yeah, I was like, I can't do that. But
Did you cry like crazy then?
Yes. Oh my gosh. Me and my best friend Elizabeth, who also was saying goodbye to my family, she was also sobbing.
Oh.
Yeah.
I wrote letters to my brother, my dad, my mom before I left.
I think I might have too.
I wrote them letters before I moved out for my first radio job.
And
then my brother read like my letter like for my best man speech. I'm like, you don't need to read my whole letter for my best man speech. But
like, that was very
but
okay,
he
feels
was, like,
moment.
showcasing that he like kept it, and that moment really meant a lot. So that goodbye moment, whenever you're doing it, and even it might feel like college, or like you go back and stuff like that. When you move out of your house, there is this feeling of like everything has
emptiness.
changed. There goes my life.
Being being one step closer to being empty nesters. Jackson's the one,
Seems like he's going to hang on for a while, though. You're not that
I
close
think
for
so,
you.
too. I think he's going to, he's going to live in the basement. He's going to study college, via Zoom.
But the concept of empty nester is crazy to me.
I know.
Like, right? Like, to not have anyone in the house. But, like, we always joke around, like, which one of our kids is going to be, like, mom's going to be with it, like, all the time, like, connected to mom. Because, it's crazy to think about. The other thing I wanted to get into and debate is something America is split on. America is split 50-50 on this hypothetical question. Would it be okay for doctors to drink a non-alcoholic beer at work? If a doctor walked in, someone asked on social media, would it be appropriate to drink a non-alcoholic beer at work? The result was split down the middle, 50-50, saying if it was cool or not. If you're a
doctors specifically?
They asked that question specifically, but then they started, I do think they dive into like any job. Like, what difference is it?
I don't see a problem with that at all.
So if you walked in to have surgery and your doctor was like,
popping in those
drinking,
if it was an NA,
it would be
pop
okay.
Off.
Because they could do that with anything.
Or like, when you're about to be put under and they're like, we're going to count to 10, 9, and you're like kind of like out of it. And then you just see your doctor like drinking what looks like a beer. I would be scared.
Yes, that's what they're saying.
Yeah.
Like that language is crazy. Or like a school bus driver. It's like, hey, good morning. They have like a non-alcoholic beer and they're just drinking it. Like, you'd be like, I'm not putting my kids on that bus, but it's non-alcoholic.
It's non-alcoholic. I mean, it is just like if someone were to drink an energy drink or a soda or juice.
I don't know.
Anything.
I think I'm going to be the Karen in this situation.
I don't.
No,
surprisingly, because you almost have to like validate, as every kid gets on the school bus, you have to show the parent it's non-alcoholic. Like, you have to do that.
Yeah, I would also think, why would you need a non-alcoholic beer at work? Because you're a doctor, why are you craving alcohol? Craving beer. The taste
that
of
why
beer.
people drink? I think people just like the flavor of it.
Like
I think.
the flavor,
Really?
man.
I don't know.
They like the
I do
hops.
think like of all like the flavors, like a Dr. Pepper sounds a lot more.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. So really, you couldn't find another
If it's
drink?
an NA, it's an NA.
Somebody said that one of the comments that I did like was, I mean, can we have a third option? It's not inappropriate. It's just fucking weird. Like,
Yeah.
I almost just want to say, like, put it in a cup. Like, just don't drink out of.
That would freak me out, though. Red Solo cup. Red Solo cup looking like a beer and puts it down.
You guys got to have more faith in the NA beers.
I know. People are saying, I agree. If I had to put a vote on it, I'm voting with Hannah. So our room would be split 50-50 too. But I am like nervously voting. I'm like nervous about. I just feel like it is weird,
but it's at work.
But it's non-alcoholic, and I do know that like
they like the taste of
energy drinks. Like, you can make your hand shake if you're like a doctor. There's a lot of stuff that energy drink. There's a lot of bad stuff.
Yeah,
a lot of sodas and all that stuff. Like, of all the things to be drinking, it's the same, but it does freak me out. And like the school bus driver, if I saw a school bus driver drinking an NA, I don't know if I'm getting on.
Yeah,
I'm definitely not putting I might get on the bus, but I'm definitely not putting my kids.
Imagine the school bus drivers drinking that, and a kid takes a picture and posts it. You can't zoom in far enough to see whether it's non-alcoholic or alcoholic.
Right.
They're probably losing their job.
That's what people are saying too. Like school bus driver, paramedic, air traffic controller. These are weird jobs to hold something that looks like it, and the fact that even if it looks like it, could create its own set of problems, like panic or paranoia, like you're paranoid about what's going to happen in the hospital or on the bus, and so it creates problems. But it is It seems like all of us
Yeah, because
even
at
struggling with
first,
it.
I think everyone's like, yeah, whatever, drink what you want. You're not like actually drinking, but then you really think about it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
start
it's like,
thinking,
why
like-
do you need a non-alcoholic taste
Oh
in
man,
your mouth?
I'm
It
NA
works.
all the way.
Have you ever drinking an NA? You
Uh,
like you know a lot about it.
no,
I've never even drinking an
I've
NA.
been seeing more people drink them.
I
Recently.
know that they're like becoming more and more popular as alcohol sales. Like,
Julian's
decline.
grandparents love an NA beer.
Do they really?
Yes,
Really?
they have them at their house, and they do. I mean, they look like beer.
Beers.
Like
Yes.
they do look like them, but there's truly no alcohol in them. Gotta have faith in NA.
All right, let's have some fun. It's an interesting question to like ask your friends to debate. All right, I'm gonna throw out a color. You tell me the subject. If you were like back to school, since it was like
Okay.
back to school
Okay.
week and stuff like
This
that.
should be easy. We should all think
Oh,
the same
yeah,
thing.
all
I
right.
know.
Are we yelling it at the same time?
Yell it at the same time because
Okay.
I don't mind the confusion or chaos because
I'm like forgetting every color.
we should all be in sync.
Right.
I don't
I'll
know
yell
any
out the color.
colors.
You tell the subject. So
Oh.
like
Oh, okay.
so it's easier, right?
Okay.
Okay. So you reading, math, science, social studies, English,
Okay,
like whatever.
okay.
So someone's like, oh, here, write whatever subject it is. You know, if you're in school, red. 1,
Reading.
2, 3. Reading.
Reading, yeah.
Reading.
Reading, yeah.
I was gonna say.
Yeah, I didn't know
reading.
how we were doing this.
Right.
Okay, yeah,
Okay,
countdown.
I'll count it down. But
guys
yeah,
were-
red
you
is
guys-
reading for sure. It just goes
Well,
together.
but also, didn't you guys also have to do like the reading levels? And maybe that's the old school where they had the different colored
Yeah.
book levels.
Yeah.
Where you would have the reds, the blues, the orange, the
Well,
yellow.
red was always the hard, so I never got there. But
Got it.
Is that
Okay.
true? I don't
I don't
remember
remember.
that.
being
Remember.
It was like near the end, though. You're right.
All right, I'm going to throw out another one, then I'll count to 3 and we all yell it out.
okay,
Blue. Take a second to think about it.
okay.
1, 2, 3.
So
Science.
All of us were different.
I
Here,
said
yellow.
math.
Oh, you said math?
Yeah.
Okay, math.
Science.
Social studies.
I almost
No!
went social studies,
There's a
but I think
clear
math.
one for science.
Yes, I thought science was the easiest.
Yeah,
you have
science-
science? No, yellow
No,
for science.
green is science.
Yeah.
It's plants.
Yeah.
No,
Green is
yellow
science.
for science.
Green is
Green
science.
is science.
Okay, what is yellow then?
History.
No, I was going to say math for yellow.
Really?
We had these,
Math
like-
definitely isn't yellow.
Math is definitely blue. Blue math.
No.
I always did blue
I kind
math.
of like blue math.
Yes, blue math.
I think you said that.
I don't know what I'm
That's what
saying.
she just
I don't
said,
know
yeah.
any colors. I don't know any subjects.
Blue math. You said blue?
I said science, but
Now
it
that
could-
you're hearing
Now
it.
you're hearing it.
I always switch the two around, math and science.
Science
Green and
has to be
blue.
green.
Here's
green
the
is
problem.
science.
Okay,
No,
even if
green is, I put as social stuff.
you guys, okay, we had to cover our books, so we had to make those terrible paper book covers.
Those
Yeah.
paper with the,
Yeah, you know exactly.
Mhm.
And the-
But these are for the folders. Like you had a book and then the folder.
no, I mean we could have any color folder for that.
Yeah.
It-
So
it-
you
Yes.
just
so you know, I'm saying so.
Kevin was with a kid.
Kevin thinks
No.
there's like a legit answer. There's no,
No.
legit answer.
No, there's no legit answer. And number
He's
2,
just scared.
he was thinking
he's
about
afraid
books.
he's going to get detention
That's
if he
And
gets
the
it
thing
wrong.
about Kevin with the folder, the reason Kevin's having trouble with this is 90% of us, and the school used to say, like, get all the
Yes.
colors, and then you get to sign
Yes.
it. But there was some outliers, and they would go and get folders that were superheroes, and Kevin would
Yep,
probably do
I'd have one of
superheroes.
those.
Totally.
You guys
So you'd be
remember
like Captain America
You
with
guys
signs
With like
remember
red.
matching socks.
Yeah.
Trapper
Super-
Keeper? You guys remember the Trapper
Yes,
Keeper?
yes.
So Kevin was like the guy who didn't have like the colored folders because he had superhero folders
Right.
or like kitty folders.
Mm-hmm.
Like there was
The
always
cats. I remember the
yeah,
cats.
literally, yeah. Like somebody always had like, oh, you don't even have a colored folder, and they'd be like, no, man, I got Captain America for
That's
science.
right.
That was Kevin.
Yeah.
That's his problem with this. But no, but everyone had the colored folders.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, last one then. Purple.
Health. Gym.
See, alternative. I did English for that.
I was going to say art.
Art.
But would you
Probably
even need a folder
English.
for art?
I did English. So I had red for reading, blue for math, yellow science,
No.
green social
No,
studies,
math.
purple English.
Yellow is always history because it's like old.
Yeah, and now that I'm starting to second guess it, maybe I did. I thought yellow was science. for
Yellow
sure,
would also work
but I'm
for-
feeling
if
I'm
you
seeing the
switch up
social
those
security
two, we'd have the same
same
answer.
ones, and so I'm starting to feel here on that.
Spanish was also yellow.
I fucking hated Spanish. I got 0. I didn't even need a folder because
Kevin's like,
I got
That's right.
they, you know, like whoever got the lowest grade on the test, that you would like then that became the F. Everyone loved me. I get like a 20%. They're like,
Oh,
That
you
was
got-
a rule?
curve.
Yeah, that's
Make
called
the
the curve.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
how they
The
curve.
it.
Yep.
And so I would get like a 20%. So anyone who got a 20% or higher, you got a D, and the 20% was the F. And everyone was like, thank God for Bret. Literally, they would cheer for me.
Oh my
This-
gosh.
I will never forget this. the lady accidentally handed my paper to one of my best friends in the class, and he yelled, "What the fuck was I doing?"
It was your test?
Yeah, and it was all wrong. He's like, "Oh my God, what went wrong?" And then she's like, "Oh, never mind, that was Bret."
That was
that's
purposeful.
crazy.
That she did that on purpose.
And it was every question. I was like, I don't think I got a single one right. And I was like, dude, that's mine.
No, she did that on purpose.
I
That
know.
was a setup.
That's how bad I was at Spanish. It was that bad.
One time I got like a B- and I cried.
Oh my
a
god.
B-
really?
in any class, or it's just Spanish? 'Cause if I got a B- in Spanish, I would have danced on the table.
Yeah, I was so bad at Spanish. I would have loved a B-.
A B- any subject?
It was physics. And I got a tutor literally that day because of my B-.
Oh my god.
So did you finish with straight A's then?
Yeah.
Really?
Mm.
I think the only class in high school that I ever didn't get an A in, I think I ended with like a B+ in physics. That was the
Do you
hardest.
regret that?
Physics, oh, that's physics.
I don't.
That's a great question to ask because, so I didn't give a shit in high school, and I was just like talking about my friends and hanging out and whatever was happening, the gossip of the lockers. And then in college, because my wife was like AB, like I don't think she ever got anything less than an A. She was really a hard studier. She like motivated me. Like I felt motivated and inspired by her that I was like probably a completely different person in college. I like fell in love with the radio. I loved being around the radio station. I loved what I was doing. I loved my major. That I finished with like a 3.75, 3.8 GPA from
Very
college.
good, yeah.
I like worked my ass off. No one's ever asked me my GPA once in my life. I wonder.
Yeah.
I loved that I don't like regret my college experience. I don't want to go back to partying, but I do remember stressing if I was getting an A or not. And I'm like, why did I ever stress if I was getting an A or not? Because no one's ever asked me my GPA in my life.
Yeah,
For either one.
Yeah.
When I
I'm
didn't
really
care or I
glad
did
the
care.
balance that I had in high school because I didn't ever do any studying, like waste any time out of school doing any sort of work. But I had to keep my grades afloat because I was on the dance team. And if my grades dropped below a certain thing, I couldn't perform. So I feel like I gave the perfect amount of shit to balance having a good social life and being a semi-decent student. I'm glad I didn't waste time looking back. Like, if I would have wasted time studying, like, what for?
It takes a lot out of me to retain information. So I was always very jealous of the people who didn't have to study, who like could do their homework in 2 seconds. It took me like 10 times longer than the average person. And so
But did you need any of the information?
I mean, I ended with great grades, and my college was so cheap because of it.
Yeah.
So
That's
your
the
high
good
school
thing about
GPA
that.
does matter when it comes to
that.
college.
You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I still have, I mean, I loved high school. I had a great high
Do
school
you feel
experience.
like it helped you create your work ethic now?
I do. And then I think it also, like, I did have a lot of anxiety in high school about my grades, and I was able to ease up on that a little bit more in college. So I
Okay.
feel like I had a better balance of it in college. I mean, I was still stressed, and I still pretty much got straight A's, but I do think I figured it out more.
Yeah, I regretted ever like worried about if I got an A or a B now. I do like kind of look back like when I started to care about school, I'm like there was no difference in if I got an A or a B. So I do kind of like wish I didn't in college, like was so nervous. But I do look back on that like realizing that there was a sense of pride, and I do think it helped shift my if you work really hard,
Yeah.
you will get results.
Right. Yeah.
You can get results.
And it's
Like,
great for
it might be like AB, like I wouldn't have been an A student, but because I worked really hard, you could be an A student. And I think that now, I think that with the show, like whether the show is the most talented show in the world, if we work really hard, we'll probably have really good ratings. And I just think that's the same in any kind of production. If you're in sales, if you hustle and you make a lot of phone calls, you'll probably get a lot of sales. I just think that it's true. And I did learn that because of that.
It was always like they would say, like, you know, I'll take a hard C any day than an easy A. That you've earned your grade, you know. And AB, do you ever regret that there wasn't more singing in high school? Is that kind of...
I got asked to join an a cappella group, and I can't sing. Otherwise, I would have done it.
Oh.
That would have been if I could sing, I would have been in every musical, this a cappella group. I would have been a completely different
My
person.
wife, speaking of singing and joining groups and things like that, she was in all on the honors classes, all that kind of stuff. And because she was in all those AP classes, I think she didn't have space for an elective. And So she decided not to do lunch so she can still do choir because she liked to sing so much.
Wow.
And she had to get a piece of paper signed her senior year saying, I'm choosing not to eat lunch every day. I'm just going to eat it in classes.
I'm going to sing.
And they had to have her parents sign off.
Wow.
That she could take more classes. And so she skipped lunch. I'm like, what a fucking loser.
I skipped lunch all the time because I would take my Adderall and hated everybody. And so
Unpack, girl.
I would skip lunch all the time, and I would go and I would eat in the AV suite with my teacher, and I would do my homework because it also took me so long to do my homework that I needed the extra time.
That just made me sad for you and
Yeah,
my wife,
wow.
skipping your lunches and having no friends.
Oh no, I had friends. They just annoyed me when I was on my Adderall. I had Elizabeth and Molly, my best friends that I'm hanging out with tonight, and I was like, I literally was like,
better that you had friends.
I was like, I literally.
She's like, no, guys, I swear.
I mean, as the popular kid in high school, if you're eating with the AV teacher, you might have been labeled no friends, just so you know, between me and my group.
Well, that's
my
why
group would have been like, that girl thinks she has friends, Elizabeth and Molly, but they're imaginary.
That's
They're
why
decoys.
people would see me eating in the AV suite and be like, yeah, what a nerd. And then
Yeah,
I would
that's what I
go
would
and
say.
kill it on the dance floor during basketball games. And they'd be like, who the heck is that? And they're like, that's Anna. And they're like, what? My life never made any sense.
It still doesn't. And that's the podcast.